Once there was a king. He was very brave. When he was young, he had his own soldiers. The king, with the help of these soldiers, was trying to conquer some of the forts. Once he was on the outskirts of the town, moving in disguise and organizing his soldiers. When it was late in the night, he saw a small hut. The king whispered to himself,
"I can't return to the palace at this hour. It's safer to stay here for the night."
He went to look for shelter in the night. An old woman was living there.
"Excuse me, Mother,"
the disguised king said softly, approaching the hut's entrance.
"I'm a tired traveler in need of shelter for the night. Could I please stay here tonight? I'm exhausted from traveling. It would be so nice if you could let me sleep here until morning."
The old woman was surprised to see the unexpected guest, and peered out from her dimly lit little home. After thinking for a moment, she smiled warmly and said,
"Of course, my son. You're welcome to stay here for the night. Come in, and make yourself comfortable."
For the guest in the nighttime, she made some rice and curry of gram flour. She served it to him on a platter. She saw the guest eating rice right from the central portion of the rice and curry mixture. It was burning his fingers. The old woman giggled to herself.
"He's just like the king,"
she mused quietly while watching him.
"Jumping into the middle of things, like he's charging into a fight."
She whispered to herself. He still continued to take the rice from the center of the heap of rice, burning his fingers each time, and then blowing air over them to cool them. And the process continued. Now the old woman could not hide her laughter. She said,
"My dear son, you're just doing it like the king."
The king, intrigued, asked,
"Why do you see me as a king, dear mother?"
She replied,
"While attacking the enemy, the king goes to the center of the army to attack first. If he would conquer the army from the outskirts and make his way to the center in progression, he would never get into problems. Like the king, you too went to get the hottest part. Start eating the rice from the sides of the heap, and see that you can finish it up to the center without burning your fingers."
The king was very happy to hear this from the old lady. He had learned a big lesson from her. Moral: learn from others and approach situations with wisdom and strategy. It highlights the importance of humility and the value of seeking advice from unexpected sources Once upon a time, there was a poor farmer named John. He lived in a village with his wife and 2 children. He had a small plot of land where he grew vegetables. His 2 buffaloes supplied milk for the family. John and his family were happy, and they always thanked God for what they had. The children grew older. John needed more money to send them to school. He and his wife decided to sell one of their buffaloes. They were sad to part with the loyal animal that served them for many years. But they had no other option. The next morning, John set out for the cattle market in the town with his buffalo. On the way, he met a man with a horse. The man said,
"Hey buddy, I'm looking to sell my horse. Would you be interested in trading it for your buffalo?"
John thought that was a good idea, and he happily gave them his buffalo. But soon he discovered that the horse was lame. He felt disappointed and continued walking. Soon, a man came with a cow. John told the man what had happened. The man reassured John, saying,
"No problem. Take my cow and give me the lame horse in return."
John was very happy with the man's kindness. Soon, John realized that the cow was blind in one eye. He felt disheartened. He sat down under a tree, unable to decide what to do. Then a man came that way with a goat. He offered to exchange the goat for John's cow. John agreed, but afterwards found out that the goat was sick. Sad and confused, John next exchanged his goat for a hen. It was evening. John was hungry and tired. He sold the hen for a few pennies and bought some food to eat. As he was about to start, an old beggar walked up to him.
"I haven't had any food for many days. Can you please give me something to eat?"
The beggar asked. John felt sorry for the beggar. He gave all the food to the beggar. John returned home hungry, tired, and without a penny in his pocket. John's wife and children were not happy with him for losing the buffalo and making no money. His wife said,
"You did the right thing. We must never turn away a hungry person."
The family went to bed after dinner. When they woke up the next morning, they were amazed at what they saw. There stood in front of John's house a line of animals. A young buffalo, a healthy horse, a cow, a goat, and a hen. There was also a bag of gold coins. After a few moments of surprise, they realized what had happened. John's wife said,
"I am sure that all this is the beggar's reward for your kindness.
John's family had no more worries, and they lived happily. Moral: being kind and helping others, even in times of hardship, and when you have little yourself, can lead to unexpected blessings and happiness.